Well, hello there. I am Drew Badger, the world's first and number one English fluency guide, and today I'm actually going to talk about beliefs. And this is something that you will probably not likely hear in an English lesson, and it's kind of a sad thing, but it's a very important thing to talk about. I actually sent a letter about this very recently to newsletter subscribers. And also, I was just talking with my wife about this because she's Japanese and is also improving her English in the same way that I'm learning Japanese. And so we were just talking about beliefs in general and how you think about the way you learn. And it's an interesting thing because a lot of people, they focus on the actual lessons, and it could be the same thing whether you're trying to learn a language or whether you're trying to develop any skill or even do something like start a business. And people are always interested in the kind of how-to information, but if their mind is not right, so this is an expression that just means that you're thinking about things in the right way, that you're feeling positive, that they're possible to do, because if you don't have that at first, then it doesn't really matter what you think. So when it comes to fluency, all of maybe the grammar or the vocabulary, all of these other things that you're learning, these are important. But without the right mindset, if you don't even believe it's possible to get fluent, maybe you have certain beliefs yourself, or other people that struggle and they think, or they even say things. You can listen to their language, what they talk about when they say, I can't do something, like I can't get fluent because I don't live in an English-speaking country, or I'm like too dumb to learn. And this is, both of these things are things that I thought when I was first starting to learn languages, especially when I was in high school and trying to learn French, and then college and trying to learn Spanish there. Both of these I failed to learn, even though I tried. But yeah, I really did badly at both of those classes. I think I got maybe like D's or C's in them. Like I was able to do something just to pass the test, but I could never speak, and I still don't. I know a few words of French and a few words of Spanish as well, but I couldn't have any kind of conversation in those. And so I developed these beliefs that made me think, okay, like if I want to learn French, I couldn't learn it in my high school. I have to actually be living in France in order to do it. Or that maybe if I can't learn these languages, I'm just too dumb. Like there's really nothing I can do. I'm not the kind of person that can learn a second language. Now, when you think about these kinds of things, like it's important to try to reverse these beliefs. And so these are just called limiting beliefs. And it doesn't really matter, again, if it's for fluency or something else. But when you, again, think a certain way, that really is the truth for your own life. So if you believe something is not possible, then it actually isn't possible. But if you believe it is possible, you will likely find a way to do it, even if it's not perfect or exactly the way maybe you like to do something. So what I'd like to show you today is just a way to think about that. Before you're focusing, obviously your English is already pretty good. You can understand what I'm saying in this video right now. But if you still can't speak at that level, if you have any beliefs that are stopping you from doing that, hopefully I can help you reverse those in this video and get you thinking in a more positive way. So one of those beliefs is that you have to be living in a native English-speaking country in order to get, fluent in English, or you have to be around native speakers at least. So even if you're not in a native-speaking country, you have to be, at like a school with a lot of native speakers, or living in some kind of community, spending time around native speakers. Now, when I thought that it would be easy for me, okay, I failed French and I failed Spanish. Okay, I failed those languages, but now I'm going to Japan, and because I'm living there, I'm absolutely going to get fluent. And it just didn't happen that way. So even though I was trying, I tried everything I could, and I spent a lot of time trying to learn Japanese, I was still using the same traditional lessons and the ways that I was learning in order to get fluent, or just even to learn the languages for Spanish and French. And I wasn't able to do it living in Japan either. So even though I was in Japan surrounded by lots of Japanese people, it didn't make much difference. Obviously, it's helpful if you're learning in the right way, and that's what I really wasn't doing. So I was learning the traditional way, trying to use flashcards and grammar drills, and like boring grammar tables. You've probably seen those before, where it's like go, went, gone, or whatever, that kind of thing. So you're sitting and trying to remember those things the way you would program a computer. But, life just doesn't work that way if you actually want to get fluent. So when I thought about that, it occurred to me, okay, so living in an English-speaking country, or in my case, living in Japan, wasn't the magic cure that I thought it would be. And so that should get you thinking, what other things maybe that you believe about how you get fluent that likely are not true? So another thing I thought was this other idea that okay, I must be too stupid, or only some people are able to learn a second language. So I was thinking, okay, is it possible that maybe I could learn that? So I already failed to learn French and Spanish. If I want to learn Japanese, I must be able to reverse this, or I have to really switch this way of thinking so it becomes possible for me to do it. So after that, maybe I can start thinking about a better way to learn. But really, this way of thinking is important. And so I thought about the more I thought about it, really, the more I realized that I already speak multiple languages. And this is maybe not the same thing kind of in general as speaking two different actual languages like English and Japanese. But when you speak your own language, certainly how it is in English, or even in Japanese for that matter, we have one way of speaking when we're talking in a professional way, or we're talking to family and friends, or whether you're talking to, if I'm talking to the president of some organization versus talking to my own child. So you speak with different ways, and you actually use different vocabulary. So as an example, in Japanese, when you're talking just to a regular person that's, the same, just another adult, you would talk about foot and use the word ashi. So ashi just means foot. But if I'm talking to my daughter, we talk to her and use kind of a baby word, which is anyo. And so it's this exact same thing we're talking about. We're talking about foot in both cases, but we're actually using different words to describe that. Now, logically, your brain doesn't understand the difference between two words in the same language. So these two different words in Japanese versus a word in one language like French and another word for the same thing in English. So if I want to say drink in English or nomu in Japanese, the brain doesn't understand the difference. It's just saying, okay, these are two different languages. Now, obviously, it gets a little bit more complicated than that because maybe you've got different grammar structures and other things. But even for something that's similar, really, the point here is that you actually do speak more than one language already, even if it's not, an exact different language, like it's from a different country or something like that. But you learn to speak in different ways with different words, maybe with different tones and expressions, that kind of thing, even within your own language. So when I thought about that, I was thinking, okay, wow, maybe I'm not stupid. If I can speak multiple languages within English, it's probably true that I can learn to speak a different language like Japanese. And hopefully you're seeing now as I'm talking about these things the fact that living in an English-speaking country is helpful. It's absolutely helpful if you can do it, but it's not necessary. It's much more important about how you learn, and that's why I do spend a lot of time on the videos on this channel talking about exactly how to learn the language, how to think and actually develop the habits that make you speak fluent English confidently. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of taste like that for this video because it is important to think about your beliefs because your beliefs are the foundation of everything. If you believe you can't get fluent, it doesn't matter how much you learn or even how you learn. It's more important first to think about, okay, do I really honestly believe it's possible to do something? And once you do, then you think about the how. So hopefully you can kind of use this and think about other limiting beliefs you might have. If you have more, put them down in the comments below. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns or other things where you're thinking, I wish I could get fluent, but I've got this problem. And more likely than not, there is somebody in the world or even right where you live that actually has that problem, but was able to get fluent anyway. So remember that your beliefs are very important, and that's what I'd like to leave you with today. So get your mind right, decide to think in a positive way about fluency. So even right now, I'm feeling a little bit sick, but I'm still excited to get here and to share this message with you because it's something, again, my wife and I were talking about, and it's an important thing. If you're not feeling excited about something, we're not going really work hard and do the actual things you have to do in order to get fluent. Well, I will leave you there with that. If you have enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about these kinds of things, let me know. Do click that like button and become a subscriber to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And most importantly, if you'd like to learn the more kind of how-to things, you're getting your mind right with a video like this and believing you can do it. But if you're still struggling with the how-to, whether it's grammar or pronunciation or anything else, and you'd like to learn how to just communicate in the same way I'm speaking right now. I'm just speaking without any rehearsal. I don't have a script or anything. I'm just communicating, and I can teach you how to do the same thing with my English fluency quiz. So click on the link in this video to take that, and you can take that for free, and we'll help you solve any specific problem you have, whether, again, it's grammar or pronunciation, listening, speaking, all of these things we can help you with absolutely free at EnglishAnyone.com. So click on the link in this video to take that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.